In 10 years' time, offshore wind will be powering every home in the country. That's quite a boast. Now, that was the pledge that's expected to be made by Boris Johnson later today. Now, with an investment of £160 million to build more offshore wind turbines, thousands of jobs locally and further afield are to be created. Now, the Mayor for the Tees Valley, Ben Houchin, wants to see Teesside lead the way and be right at the centre of it. And he spoke to Greenie on BBC Radio Tees Breakfast this morning.
We already are playing a huge part in this already. We've got some fantastic businesses in the region, from Wilton Engineering through to Techmar, who are doing some fantastic stuff in the offshore wind industry sector. The big part that you've got, though, is that you need to create capacity. So a lot of that £160 million is going to go towards being able to prepare large parcels of land so big manufacturers can come in and invest. And that's why we think that Teesside's the best place to do that, because of the new Teesworks site. We've already got a planning application in for 4.5 million square feet of manufacturing space, which would be ideal for the offshore wind industry. And we're about to be building a heavy lift quay. So all of those things are in place. And if the government back us with some additional money, then we can see, we think, up to 9,000 jobs being created in Teesside in this sector alone.
Now, listening to that is George Rafferty, who's head of North East-based National Energy Sector Group, NOF. A very good morning to you, George.
Morning, Gary. Morning.
This is excellent news for our part of the world, isn't it?
It is, and I would echo everything that Ben says, and also you used the word proud there in your sort of an introduction there, Harry. And, you know, we have the businesses here, we have the skills here, the people here that we should be proud of, that can actually lead the way further and further the development of offshore wind and the benefits for the region.
Does it help that we have a history in the oil and gas sector, that those skills that we already have here can be transferred over to renewables?
Yeah, exactly that, you know, and it goes even further back, you know, the shipbuilding, heavy engineering, skills, tradition, history that the region's got, the oil and gas piece. And yes, you know, a lot of businesses have already made that transition from the oil and gas industry into the offshore wind industry, and they're now involved in projects right around the world. And, you know, that will only grow as we get that development that Ben Houchin actually referred to.
What will it mean for your group? What will it mean for NOF, George? You know, is this you expanding, or maybe it's just consolidating what you've already got and being bigger and better?
No, I would say it's actually growing what we've got. We've just done an extensive supply chain mapping exercise here right across the North East, not just in the Tees Valley, right across. And we've already identified a significant number of businesses that have the capability to go into offshore wind, but not yet in offshore wind. And NOF will actually be providing a range of services, working with a range of partners to actually encourage those businesses to equip themselves better to get into the offshore wind industry. So we see a growth in the supply chain here in the northeast of England and on Tees Valley.
Now, George, I'm going to be honest with you here. I got an O-level in geography at school, and I get the sense that we're well placed here on Teesside, with the River Tees being the deepest port on this side of the coast for the North Sea. We're right in the centre of something huge, aren't we?
Yeah, and the huge that you're referring to is the Dogger Bank project, just off I think it's 90 miles off the northeast coast. And the major developers involved in the north and the Dogger Bank project, Equinor, SSE, RWE Renewables, NOF is working with all of those major developers and also the Tier 1 contractors such as GE Renewables and the local supply chain to make sure, and it's important that we ensure that the jobs come to the UK and come to this region to actually deliver that Dogger Bank project, which will be the biggest offshore wind project in the world.
Are we getting a head start on this? Because I get the sense that our colleges and our universities and our manufacturing base are already sort of geared to that sort of thing, to looking to the future for renewables. Because we've got a heritage of renewables here, haven't we?
We have a heritage, and again, if you look at the work that NOF is doing, and we've got the universities involved in that, University of Teesside, Durham University, playing a major part in a group that's just been established in the last 7 days, an innovation group looking at what are the challenges in the offshore wind industry to actually continue to make it a world-leading industry and to develop new technologies. And the universities and the colleges are playing a major part in that, led by NOF.
Wouldn't it be great to see manufacturing of that sort of scale back on Teesside?
Oh, absolutely. And if, Ben Houchin mentioned about the planning permission, the plans that are in for the Teesworth site. If we can deliver a major manufacturing hub here in Teesside on that Teesworth site, it will transform the business prospects in the Tees Valley, business prospects in the northeast of England, and also totally cement the UK supply chain in offshore wind as a leading global player.
Brilliant stuff. George, as always, thanks for speaking to us on BBC Radio Tees.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. George Rafferty there, head of North East-based National Energy Sector Group, NOF. So great. We'll just wait for that announcement from Boris, and lovely day for Teesside, County Durham and North Yorkshire.